You've been to Auschwitz several times now.
I've been back,
But
I
it
would
was
say,
hard
over
for you to
20
go.
times.
The
Yeah,
first 20 times you've been.
about 20 times with different groups.
Wow.
Some years I go back twice, sometimes I went back 3 times in the summer with groups of students, but I go on the March of the Living, and I also go with a Simon Wiesenthal group when we go with politicians or chiefs of police or school boards.
But it was very hard to go back the first time.
It was
in
very hard.
98.
In 1998 was my first time. So, and I went with our granddaughter. So that sort of added to the pressure. And imagine you're going back with your granddaughter to a place in Birkenau, Auschwitz II, where there are the ruins of gas chamber and crematoria too, and I know that my entire family
Right. Well,
were
her great
murdered,
grandparents
and
died,
you know,
yeah.
sort of introduced my granddaughter to their spirits, perhaps, you know.
You write like anyone who writes about the Holocaust has to, about some terrible things. But you, seems to me, through your book, you never miss a chance to recall a kindness. And why is that? It seemed to be very important to you in writing it.
Well, I looked back, and I think somebody said that unless a door opened for you, you could not crawl out of that nether world. And so there were always some people, and I had this terrible beating in the camp when I was hit by a guard with his rifle, and I was dragged back, and so there was the undercouple, Staszek, whose name was Staszek, a Polish political prisoner, and the couple was a German killer, a murderer who was, they were put into the camps to be our work bosses, but see, I was dropped inside the gate, and that was a sure death warrant. I mean, I was done. Staszek made sure that two other inmates, had to drag me to the Barrack 21, which was a bit of a distance from the gate. Had they not done this, I wouldn't have survived. So, and all along the way, there was somebody.
But the essence of your book's caught in the title, By Chance Alone, you alone of your family. You must think of that all the time, these little steps along the way. This piece of help or this change here. You talk too about choices, paths not taken, the forester's warning.
Yes.
That, and for understandable reasons, you didn't take it, and then this flows from that. And who knows what would happen if you'd run off to the woods at that moment.
We don't know.
One that you brought up, Ili, is that the name of your rather kind neighbor at home?
Ili Klinka. She was a neighbor.
The offer to take the baby.
That's right, yeah. And
the help she gave you after the war. She seemed genuinely good
She
person.
handed me several pictures that she saved.
Yes.
Because our homes, while we were still in town, sealed off. 90 Jewish families were gathered in the school.
Yeah.
And the townsfolk, where we have lived for generations, they ransacked our homes and to the bare walls. And the synagogue was desecrated, and she saved 3 pictures. And pictures became treasures because everything was gone.
Do you have those now?
I have those 3 pictures. The tragedy was that the majority of people in continental Europe were truly bystanders.
Yes.
They simply watched things happen and they said, well, this is not really our business, you know, and bad things happen when good people stand by and do nothing.
Yeah.
So, see, it was, my experience was, and the way I try to present this to students, it was a case of bullying on a very large scale. It was a government-sponsored propaganda machinery that kept beating the drums. They dehumanized a minority of Jewish people, 12 million Jewish people in continental Europe amongst 300 some odd million. There are 12 million Jews dispersed in many countries. So I always say that it starts with words and it ends in a place like Auschwitz and other death camps.